folks, my name is Johniki, and this is Madame Bathsheba. And together we are Catamancy Tarot. So today I wanted to do a quick little flip through of a very cool little deck. It's the Abstract Futures Tarot by Hilma's Ghost. I talked about this deck in my recent What's in My Basket video, where I showed you a bunch of abstract style decks and how I like to work with them. And I've had a number of people request I do a flip through of this one. So that's what we're gonna do today. So without further ado, let's turn the camera around and take a look. All right, so here we go. This is Abstract Futures. It doesn't come with a booklet, but it does. You can scan this and it goes to their website, and you can look up, there's like a sentence or two for each card on their website, along with a full color illustration. Also, if you just want to like look at the cards, they're all up on their website. If we open up it's a magnetic box with this little ribbon here, so we can pop the deck out. And then you can see that I have copy 91 out of 300 in their first edition, which was in 2021. So Abstract Futures is a tarot deck created by Hilma's Ghost. And Hilma's Ghost is an artist collective out of New York City by Danielle and Charmistra. And you can, they display a lot of their artwork in galleries. I follow them on Instagram. They work with people like Sarah Potter, who's a color witch in New York. And they do a bunch of stuff together. So yeah, you can see that that's the gallery that they display their work at. So this is, I guess this is more like a little bit of a fine art deck. And because of that, it's on the pricier end of tarot decks these days. It's a $100 deck. I got lucky enough to find a used copy on like tarot on a Facebook marketplace. So I got $30 off. So I was pleased. But the idea behind this deck, I think, is like super fascinating. And so you might already be familiar with Hilma Klint's artwork. She was an abstract artist, kind of like a pioneer in that art genre. And she was also a spiritualist, and she did automatic art. So a lot of her work was actually just channeled, and which I think is super cool. So what they're doing, what Hilma's Ghost is doing, is like channeling Hilma's Ghost and creating this deck, which I think is super, super cool. So if these are the backs. The first edition has like the silver sparkle edges, and I think later editions are gold. And so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'll do a flip through for you guys. Let's take you in a little bit, nice and easy here. And we do have a little bit of glare, so I'll just hold these up. Starting with the Fool, the Magician. This is probably my favorite card in the deck. We have the High Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor, the Hierophant, the Lovers. And what I love about this deck and abstract decks in general, I just think that it's really fun to kind of like read into these images and who are these pillars out in this kind of like abyss of space. There's kind of this bridge between them, or is it just like a big sad face, or is it like antennae sending out signals? You know, it's really quite fun and quite playful, and I find that there's a lot going on in these images, and it's really fun to kind of just like fall into them and try and kind of like make sense of of space and trying to make sense of the images of what's kind of like going on around you. And as you can kind of see here, there's some great like texture in these images as well. The Hanged Man, like this to me just looks like the refraction of light, which I think is interesting. This death card, whoa man. I want to know what you guys see in this death card. For me, it feels like you're in this like black dark movie theater, and these are like all of the seats, and there's like someone in that seat, and you're just kind of like at the back watching all of this happen. I don't know, man. What do you guys see? Temperance, the Devil, the Tower, the Star, the Moon, the Sun, Judgment, the World. All right, now we get into the minors. So they haven't changed any of the suits. So here we have the Ace of Wands, and all of the wands you'll see are in the same kind of color scheme. What I see in this image, or in a lot of the wands, is, to me, they look like sewing needles. So this Three of Wands here looks like something that's like a seam that's kind of like sutured together. We have the Four of Wands, the Five of Wands, Six of Wands, Seven of Wands, 8, 9, and the 10 here. And then we get into our court cards. So all of the pages, you'll notice, across the court cards, they have a similar kind of shape going on. So for the pages, we get this kind of like oblong thing with polka dots. For the knight, we get like a conglomeration of squares. The queen, we get circular designs. And the kings have this like spiky motif going on. So that is our wands, and now we're looking at our cups. This is our Ace of Cups, which you'll recognize as the cover of the deck. We've got the Two of Cups, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then here's our page, our knight, our queen, and our king. Moving on then to the suit of swords. I like the sword suit a lot. I really like the color scheme going on in the swords. The first two suits weren't my favorite set of colors, but I really love the swords and the pentacles, which you'll see last. So for the swords, we have this kind of we have these kind of like sword-like protrusions going on in silver. Here's our 6. That was our 7, sorry. Our 8. Our 9. And our 10 of swords. I like this one a lot. And then moving along to our courts, we have our Page of Swords, our Knight of Swords, Queen, and King. So good. And then lastly, we have our Pentacles. So as you notice, the backdrop of a lot of the majors are black, and we also see black in the backdrop of the Pentacles, which I really like because it makes things seem like they're happening out in some kind of like void space. And it kind of lights up my imagination a little bit. So here's our 5, our 6, our 7, our 8, 9, 10, Page, Knight, Queen. I think this is my favorite Queen. And our King. So that was the full flip through here. And I thought before I let you go, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and since this is a bit of a non-standard tarot deck, I figured we'll go ahead and shuffle it up real nice, and we'll pull a couple cards so you guys can see how it reads. So the cardstock in this deck is really great. It's like very buttery. It has the type of sparkle gilding where when you first shuffle it, you're gonna get glitter on your hands. But I have found that like the glitter hasn't really chipped on me, so it doesn't feel like the sharp, hurty kind, which a lot of us like to avoid. But it shuffles really well. The cardstock is really nice. I like the backs a lot. We'll do one more nice shuffle here. All right, so we're gonna pull 3 cards here. And my favorite little 3-card spread is something to embrace, something to release, and like a little message from the universe here. So let's see what we've got. Ooh, interesting. So like one of the things I would see across these cards is it feels like there's this kind of like upward movement. So with the Queen of Swords and the Emperor, it feels like there's you know, I don't know, energy moving upwards here, and in the cups too, it feels like I don't know, it feels like something's being beamed up, or maybe, you know, something's like liquid moving the opposite direction from the cup, which is interesting. But so if we have something to embrace with the Queen of Swords, maybe we can see this as like working on focusing our like mental attention down to this like pinpoint. So you've got all of these different ideas that you're kind of like distilling down into one kind of like point of contact here, and you're kind of like this little overlap feels like you're you know, you're kind of delicately piercing something and allowing your ideas to kind of like diffuse out into the thing that you're focusing your attention on. So embrace that kind of like focus. And then something to release. So to me, maybe this image maybe this is like the hyper zoomed in version of this little knife tip here, maybe. I like to see kind of like overlaps between things. And so, but here it feels like you're out in this void. You're kind of like on your own here. So it feels like you have to kind of like I don't know, hold strong or hold the space all on your own. So maybe if something to release, maybe release the idea that this sort of like creative effort is all is all uh, you know is all for nothing kind of thing. I don't know. What do you guys see? And then the kind of like overall message here is the Six of Cups. So we've got two blue cups over here, and then we've got our four red cups, and we've got some bloop blops either going in or going out of your cups, depending on your perspective. Um, so I would see this card as like the idea of maybe fulfillment. Uh, what do you need to like pour into your cups? What do you need to pour out of your cups? So all the cups have the right kind of levels. So if this is a reading about, how to like achieve your goals and maybe like create something, maybe this is about making sure you're sharing what's need to be shared and like keeping in what would be nourishing for you. I don't know. What do you guys think? So that's how I would kind of like use and read with the abstract futures. Thank you for joining me for this quick little flip through. I hope you guys have a lovely day out there. Bye for now.